I am a huge fan of wicking beds, which are basically self-watering veggie beds. Now, these boxes that you're looking at are actually made using what we call IBCs, intermediate bulk containers. They're the big 1,000 litre tanks that are used to carry things like wine, olive oil, sugar syrup, also all sorts of nasty chemicals. Now, obviously, because I'm using them to grow veggies, I only use ones that I know have had food grade stuff used in them. But basically what happens is we cut this plastic tank in half, and then it gives me two beds that are roughly 500 litres in capacity. Now, at the bottom of these beds is the water reservoir, and there's a number of different ways to make these. If you go onto my website and you look up a segment I filmed for Gardening Australia called Wicking Works, I used to make them with scoria in the bottom. Scoria is sort of that volcanic rock. It's pH neutral, and it just meant that the water could be stored in the bottom area. Since working with my bushfire recovery work on Kangaroo Island, where I started using water ups, which are a commercial wicking bed insert, I now only use them in the wicking beds I build because they hold a significantly greater amount of water. A scoria reservoir holds 66 litres of water compared to a water ups reservoir which holds 144 litres. Now, the main difference between wicking beds and my in-ground veggie garden, of which I've got a very big one, is that I need to water my in-ground veggie garden daily, whereas the wicking beds only need to be topped up once a week. Now, maybe if it's a 40-degree week, I'm watering my in-ground veggies twice a day, and these wicking beds might be getting topped up twice a week. But by using the water up inserts, that significantly reduces the frequency I need to top them up. The advantages of things like wicking beds is that the veggies can take the water when they need it. And so if you, for example, don't get home till 6 o'clock at night and your veggies dried out at 3 o'clock, well, it's at that point that they can change. They can get stressed, they can get pests or diseases, they can turn bitter. So basically having a veggie bed where the veggies take the water when they want it from their roots is ideal. And I still need to use shade cloth if it's particularly hot. I still use insect exclusion net if I'm growing any brassicas like kale or bok choy that I know the cabbage white butterflies love to make a mess of. But wicking beds certainly transform your veggie gardening. There are commercial systems available. I don't necessarily like them because they're black plastic and gets very hot. This wicking bed area actually faces west and it bakes in summer. And bear in mind, here at Mount Barker Springs, we are often hotter than Adelaide. If it's 42 in Adelaide, it'll be 43 here. It'll be 45 at Murray Bridge. So I clad mine with wood, and I find that insulates them and it looks more attractive. Now, the other thing I would say about wicking beds, they probably need to come with a warning or a disclaimer because they are rather addictive. And I did start with one, and now I have 22 wicking beds. And I absolutely love them. I do have a couple of metal wicking beds. I'm not a fan of metal raised veggie beds because the heat off them is not good for the roots of your plants, and you also get scorch and radiant heat. So if you're going to build a wicking bed, definitely look at wooden options in our hot, harsh climate. But happy wicking. They're lots of fun.